David Krumholtz. His show is called Numbers, Friday nights at 10 on CBS. Sincere apologies to Matt Damon. We ran out of time for him tonight.
Please welcome Mehul Agarwal.
So, before I start, this is my 5th year performing, and I was just looking back at all of my performances, and I realized I've been talking about a lot of traumatic events in my life throughout these performances. It's like caps didn't work at all. And this story is a little bit different. This is more so something that the other person related to the story is going to talk to her therapist about. It's like all too well Mehul's version, okay? Except instead of 10 minutes of great songwriting, it's 30 minutes of really terrible stand-up comedy. Right? If you want to hear good stand-up comedy, just watch my special from last year, because I'm going to treat this like I'm treating my masters. Like, I'm just doing it. Okay. Now, before I start, let me give you a disclaimer. Please do not try this at home, okay? All the events that take place in the story were performed by trained professionals. And if you do it yourself, you're just gonna hurt emotionally. Okay? Valentine's Day happened recently, right? Who here is currently in a relationship? Give me a cheer. That was so female. Glad that we're still at CMU. Okay, better question. Who here is in a situationship? Okay, you're just not admitting it to yourselves at this point. Who here doesn't know what a situationship is? Wait, what's in it? Sorry? Kanetsuku? Okay, awesome. I'm gonna try and remember that. Kanetsuku, let me explain. Okay, you seem like a person who understands CS, right? Okay, situationship is basically when you like git pull something, okay? You make some local changes, you git push, but you forget to commit. Does that make sense? Okay, good. And unfortunately for me, my git history is really sad, okay? But let me now take you to the start of the story. This happens at the end of my junior spring, okay? I had just gotten out of another situationship, and I was hoping to change that. But there's one flaw with me, like my red flag, okay? I get way too attached to things quickly, and also I was running out of time to enter a proper relationship, okay? I was basically trying to speedrun a game that I had never played. So, this is how I meet them. I go to a CMU meetup in Silicon Valley, okay? By the way, if you haven't been to Silicon Valley, that's where all of us are going to end up anyway. Okay? And this person, I don't want to use her real name, so let's just call her, I don't know, Dua Lipa. Haters will say this is Photoshop. But just like Dua Lipa, she was a big fan of Indian culture as well. This is real. This is actually real. Okay? I met her and she was like, oh my god, you're interning in the Bay and you also have a startup? That's so cool. And that was it. That was literally it. See how staff for attention, man. I was in. Wasn't attached yet, but I was in. And then, it trying to be smooth, I was like, hey, there's a school 90s band playing next to us. I'm going with a couple of friends, do you want to join? And she was like, oh, are you talking about Red Hot Chili Peppers? I'm actually going there with my family. We should definitely meet. And I'm like, your parents already? I don't know, right? So I reached the concert, right? And I text her. I'm like, hey, I'm in row 410, where are you? And she's like, I think my row is also pretty similar. It's row 4. So we didn't meet. But something rather interesting happened. We were texting throughout the concert. And I'll be honest with you, okay? That move was appreciated, thanks. I can talk to people. Guys, we have to have slightly higher standards. We can't woo talking to strangers, okay? Please. Yeah, so I'll be honest, I hadn't heard Red Hot Chili Peppers a lot before the concert. But something changed that night. I don't know what happened. But my Spotify rewind is kind of weird now. Okay, don't worry. I was not too attached, okay? I know it says pop, but it was actually hard rock. Hard rock is my favorite genre. And I was like, okay, this person seems cool. She should probably be the first one I ask out ever. Yeah, it's junior year. It's really terrible. But I was like, alright, summer's come to an end. Let me ask her when she's returning back to Pittsburgh. I was like, hey, when are you returning back to Pittsburgh? She said Jan, because she had a co-op. And my dream of Californication just ended right there. Who is this woo person? Man, you have to get out. Please. Interact with people outside SCS. I really appreciate it. So, but rather something interesting happened, okay? We were still texting, and she was like, tell me more about your startup. And so I had to prepare a pitch deck for my startup now. There's an actual thing I created, not for her. I actually did create the startup. No. But this came in handy when I was actually pitching to VCs. And I was like, okay, I need to probably do it in like a Shark Tank setting. I need to generate business. I need to do all of this just to talk to her. And I was going to send her a Zoom link. And then she just called me. And I was like, okay, I need to revise my offer to her now. It worked. Okay, we were catching up right, left, and center. And you know what I realized? She was kind of a weeb. Okay, she told me her favorite anime was this thing called Spy Family. Unrelated. The next day I binged all episodes of Spy X Family. Yeah, it's a great cartoon. How many people did I offend by calling it a cartoon right here? And you do. You look like a person who watches anime. Okay, all of us look like people who watch anime, alright? No one special. But don't worry, I wasn't too attached. Okay, I had a lot of people who were still after me at that point in time. Some of them were non-anime girls as well. And then something again interesting happened. She made a cameo appearance in my life because she had a connection flight through Pittsburgh, so she just decided to come to CMU campus for a while. I don't know why. I just felt like swiping up on her story and be like, yo, we should meet. And it worked. And she was like, I'll let you know when I'm free. So I cleared up my schedule for the entire day. Though I was not getting too attached. And I just said, okay, let me know. Is someone sleeping? Are you okay? Her eyes were closed. Okay, I'm glad. Let me know if I'm boring you, by the way. After a few hours, I didn't receive a text. I was like, that's fine. I have things to do. But then she called me. She's like, hey, so sorry, my flight got preponed. But I still wanted to say bye. I was like, oh, thanks. Bye. No, she's like, come outside. And I come outside. And we're at the cot, okay? Near the walk to the sky. and there's no one on campus at that point in time. Except I see like a black car, nobody else, no buses, no nothing. And I'm like, where is she? And I swear, in like the most rom-com moment in my life, she steps out of the car, hugs me, steps back in and the car leaves. Have you seen that meme where the cat kisses the mouse? That was me then. Where I was like, what is happening? What are we? I'll be honest, I was getting a little attached, okay? Just a little bit. But now, the semester had rolled on, okay? It was time that she was back in Pittsburgh. And I knew I had to ask her out because I was running out of time to reasonably date someone. It's my senior spring. I didn't know I was going to stay here for this long. But I was on the fence about it. So I decided the best place to meet her would be the fence. And see, what's great about this image is I can put this and not catch any flack. Because this is a great message. So meet her on the fence, which is a terrible decision because everyone that I know at CMU is on campus. And I run into a friend of mine. I'll describe this friend as this, okay? So imagine a brown fuckboy who claims he's 5'10", but is actually 5'9", and he's like slightly bulky arms, but you know he doesn't hit leg day. Wait, I still don't think you're following me here. Probably something like this. Okay? And this dude, I only catch him when I'm with people I actually like. And I don't see him anytime else, and I don't see the girl after as well. He's graduated now, thankfully. But I'm still on the lookout whenever I'm on Craig Street because of him. And I still don't learn my lesson because I go inside Tepper, which, if you don't know, is Brown Central. Okay? And I run into a friend of mine who, seeing me with another person that she's never seen in her entire life, decides the best thing to tell this person is, you know, Mehul, he doesn't get any girls. In fact, if not for me, he would not need anyone. I am his best wing woman. You know the kind of friends that you hate internally? Like the only way of showing affection is by roasting them. But now I've lost all affection, and I'm not proud of this, but my brain to mouth filter had sort of come out. And again, I'm not proud of this. I was like, Rachel, again, not proud of this, okay? Please don't cancel it. I said, Rachel, you're worse at wing womaning than Hitler was at art. And I doubled down. Hitler, the worst person on the planet, at least his art was nice. And these are the groans I got from everyone in a 5-meter radius, okay? There was total silence. Except one person was cackling uncontrollably. And I turn around and I see Dua just laughing. And I turn to Rachel, I'm like, you may not be a bad wing woman after all. So finally, I'm like, okay, let me drop you home. She's like, why? Did you get your steps done for the day? I was like, no. So I drop her home and I'm like, hey, that didn't go as I had planned, but I should probably ask her out, right? And then Professor Oak from Pokemon's words echoed in my head. This is a reference only some know, but there's a time and place for everything, but not now. And I was like, okay, I'll listen to Professor Oak. So I met her the next time, okay? And this time, I made sure I was off campus. And again, in an attempt to be smooth, I was like, tell me something embarrassing that you haven't told anyone. And she said, I like wrestling. I was like, what's embarrassing about wrestling? She's like, no, I like grown men in tights beating up each other. And I know what you're thinking, Mehul, there's no way you can get attached to that. I did not, okay? I haven't been into WWE since I was a kid. I just went to a few house shows and bought an Peacock subscription for $20 a month. It also has The Office. I haven't seen The Office, but it also has it, in case I want to see it. But I couldn't believe my luck. Guys, like, think about it. This person was into rock music, anime, and WWE. Also, she had multiple Grammys. And she found me cool. But again, I was not getting attached, okay? But then, I get a call from one of my friends, and she's like, Mehul, you haven't asked her out yet, it's the middle of senior spring. You've run out of time to reasonably date anyone. I was like, yeah, I know. She's like, you don't have what it takes. I was like, thanks. She's like, no, I will help you. I know the most romantic walk in all of Pittsburgh. It's only romantic at night. In fact, I can take you to it right now. And I look to my friend, who's a dear friend from freshman year, and I'm like, you just said you know the most romantic walk in all of Pittsburgh. And anyone who goes there will vibe. And it's 11 p.m. in the night. And you want to take me there right now. Sure, let me grab my friend's set and let's go. So, around midnight, the three of us go location scouting for my next hangout. And truth be told, it is the most romantic place in all of Pittsburgh, okay? It's more romantic than Phipps. It's more romantic than Duquesne Incline, or even Gate 6. Look how non-depressing this looks. Like, isn't that insane? That is why you should never judge a book by its cover. But we get there, and then my friend's like, okay, listen, this is the game plan, okay? You go there, and there's a view that you have to see. I was like, cool. But to get to the view is a very tough series of directions. Well, like, cool, you go straight, take a left, then take a right, then take another right. Cool? We got this? Repeat after me. Go straight, take a left, then take a right, then take a right. Cool? Alright. And she's like, will you remember these simple set of instructions? I was like, of course. I was like, I'm meeting her tomorrow, of course I'll remember. She's like, are you sure? I can give you a Google Maps link if you think so. I'm like, you think I need Google Maps? I prefer Apple actually. No, I don't. Apple's not. Actually, you know what? This is my pet peeve. Okay, people in the Bay Area use Apple Maps. Why? Anyway. So, there's some Apple Maps users here. I shame them after the show. But I'm like, okay, I'm meeting her tomorrow. I'll remember this set of directions. Then she cancels tomorrow. I meet her a week from now. And don't worry, I still remember the directions. Of course, I didn't forget them. Okay. And turns out we went to the place via car, but it's a slightly different way via walk. And the way kind of goes through some woods. And this place is only romantic at night, so the light is dimming as we walk. And it's 15 minutes from campus going through the woods. And slowly the rom-com in my head is turning into a horror movie. Where she's like, Mehul, do you know where we're going? I was like, yeah, trust me. Like, CMU is very on Ted Bundy over here. And like, as we're walking towards the location, I can hear like the footsteps getting quieter and quieter, and like, I was like, any 1 minute she's gonna run away from here. But finally we reached the location, and I audibly hear a gasp of relief from her end. I was like, okay, thank God. And she's like, this isn't bad. That's really good. So we go on the walk, and now the vibes are there. All I have to do is remember the set of directions, right? So everyone remember? Okay, so you go straight, take a left, then take a right, then take a left, right? No, wait, what? I had completely lost all sense of direction. And we were officially lost with no signal. And I'm on my phone being like, send location please, right now. Google Maps, Apple Maps, I don't care, just send something. And Dua Lipa is looking at me and being like, hey, what's up? She doesn't know what has happened. And I'm like, hey, finally I've like no smoothness in getting out of this. I'm like, hey, listen, I really wanted to show you this view, but it's kind of, I've lost my way. I know I've kind of ruined it. And then she said something rather interesting. She's like, no problem, we can just see the view next time. And I was like, next time? So we were still in. Okay, we finally got some signal, we got out of woods and into civilization back again. And I was like, I need to make sure that we're still good. I was like, let me do a quick test. I was like, hey, there's a bus that goes back to campus in 7 minutes, but we can also walk for 20 minutes. What do you prefer? And she said, walk for 20 minutes. We were still in. So we walked for 20 minutes. Okay? And it was all good. And then we finally reached her place. And you know the thing where parents see off someone at their car, but then just keep talking to them and get super annoying? If someone else was there, that was what they would have felt. Because we were outside her door, we both had to get out. I had to finish my homework that I had been avoiding for the past multiple days. That was due like a week back. And she had to go eat girl dinner, I guess. But we were just talking for 20 minutes outside her apartment. And throughout the talk, I'm thinking, okay, what's the best way to ask her out? I was like, she's talking about family. I was like, you know what starts a family now?
Bars.
Like, you know, classes have been tough lately. I was like, yeah. So like, the weather is nice. I was like, yeah. And finally, she's given up. She's like, hey, I need to head out. I was like, okay, cool. She needs to head out. She goes to the apartment door. And I don't know, this is probably in my head, but she's walking in slow motion. Okay? And her apartment door is the one where if you open it and you close it, it remains closed from the outside. And in my head, in my overthinking head, I was like, once this door closes, it's going to remain closed. You can't open it anymore. This is the third time you've hung out with her. Third time's a charm, or there's nothing. And instead of Professor Oak, John Cena enters my head. And he's like, your time is up. My time is now. And as like 1 inch of the door is left, I call out to her. I'm like, hey, listen, I need to tell you something. She leaves the door, comes facing me. And as soon as John Cena entered my head, he leaves. Because I think that you can't see me, but she still could. And I should have said something smooth like, one kiss is all it takes, you know, falling in love with me. But all the blood had run out. And I was back to being a kid. And the only thing I remembered was, my parents taught me that honesty is the best policy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm extremely nervous. I'm gonna ask you something and then I'm gonna run away. Not proud of it. And she's like, oh, okay. What's up? And I was like, okay, Mehul, just as you practice in the mirror, you got this, okay? And by the way, when I say got this, I'm fully looking down like this and just muttering to myself. Like, I was like, okay, it's a 3-step process, okay? First, you say an objective truth. Second, you follow up by a logical conclusion to that objective truth. Third, you come up with actionable responses. This, by the way, if you take an LLM systems class, is also what they teach you, to teach computers how to act. Clearly, my CMU education is paying off. So I'm like, okay, number one, I don't point out number one. I just say, hey, I really like hanging out with you today. Dude, you first slept and you had your phone. I don't. Is everything okay? I haven't met you. Do you hate me? Okay. I said, hey, I really like hanging out with you. By the way, my tone is this fast because I wanted to get this done really ASAP. And she's like, okay, nods her head. Second, she said, I said, I think I like you. In that state. And I can see that's a logical conclusion one could reach. But her gears in her brain are turning, and I was like, before she realizes I need to get the third thing out. So I was like, the next time can I take you out on a date? I'll slow it down. The next time can I take you out on a date? And I had decided when I asked this, that I'm not going to put any pressure on her. I'm going to give her her time to answer this, and I'm not going to say anything. But she had an answer ready. And I realized I wasn't ready for it. So I physically go, stop. Think about it. And let me know. And then I didn't know what to do. So I did what I said I would do. I turned around and I ran away. And halfway across the street, I realized that didn't go as I had planned. So I stopped. I turned back and she's frozen in place. Okay? Her mouth is still open. She doesn't know what has happened to her. Some guy asked her out and then ran away. And I'm like, I can't go back there, because that's weirder. I can't just turn and run again. I'm tired. So I shout from halfway across the street, hey! Just so you know, I'm not actually running away. I'm just gonna walk away. And I turn around and walk away. Now, I could end it there because that's a very funny story. Which makes me look like an idiot, but you all had fun. But I'm sure you all want to know the end of the story, right? What actually happened. Yes? That's how you get fake enthusiasm from the audience. So, this is the epilogue, okay? A week later, there is no communication between us. So I was like, what should I do? And my friend just called her from my phone. Before he could put it on speaker, I just stole it from him. But he said, you're gonna answer it right in front of me. Again, at this point I'm thinking I have any semblance of respect left within my friends. So I'm still trying to hold on to it. And she missed the call. And I'm like, hey, the weather outside is pretty good, right? So yeah, it's not bad. Anyway, what's up? It's like, you called me. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah, I'm sorry for running away. And she's like, yeah. Mehul, can you tell me why the fuck did you run away? And I was like, cut me some slack. That was the first time I asked someone out. I was like, she was like, yeah, I think you needed to get your steps in. I was like, yes, that was the reason. And I'm like, so, it's been a week. What's your answer? And that's all it was. I thought phone was cut, but no, she was just thinking. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't date anyone right now. Stop lying, dude. And I was like, okay. She's gonna give me the standard, it's not you, it's me. But then, something interesting happened.
She said it's you.
She said something completely different. She said, it's not you. It's just that when I fall for someone, I get attached way too quickly. And also, the semester is about to end. So we've run out of time to actually get into a real relationship. And that's when I realized, to her, I was the brown fuckboy that claims he's 5'10", but is actually 5'9", and was afraid to get covered. Clap, guys. Thank you. That's the answer.
We are very surprised that he's lasted this